Hey everyone, Pat Mesiti. It's Friday afternoon and 5:45. I was reading today, someone kindly sent me a couple of articles from the Catholic Weekly, and I want to thank so many of you from right across every faith really, because we all can see that there is an hypocrisy here of the Albanese government. Now, we all know that politicians lie, but one things that I hate is being played. I hate it when Morrison did it, and I'm certainly hating it when people like Albanese gets up and says, he's three codes of faith. One was the South Sydney Rabbitohs, the other one was his Catholic faith, and then some other dribble that he said. And then, of course, the Labor Party was advised that they need to be more in tune with people of faith. Now, this is in the Catholic Weekly. Great newspaper, which sadly needs a lot more readership, and I want to thank the people that sent that to me. But what I find interesting is that Albanese, when he gets sworn in, did not swear on the Bible. Now, think of that. From what I can recall, I don't know any other prime minister in our history, and please enlighten me if I'm wrong, that has ever done that. The swearing in was done by some, hocus pocus, bogus affirmation. That means nothing. In other words, what Albanese is saying is that he does not hold himself under the authority of God. Now, for those of you out there that say that, we've got to submit to government, Romans 13, rah, 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 this guy doesn't believe that. And in actual fact, what Romans 13 is saying, Paul is saying to the Romans of the time, the Caesars of the time, which I explained the other day, you are under an authority and it comes from God. And when Paul wrote about confessing lordship of Christ. Now listen to me very carefully. Don't switch off if you're not a person of faith. What he was saying was, you Romans think that you're God and you're in charge, but we're telling you there's someone over you. And that's exactly what Albanese and the left-wing socialist communist Labor Party, that is basically the puppets of the Thunderbirds. You remember the old Thunderbirds where they had the Thunderbirds? Thunderbirds, I go. Well, you saw the puppets, but you never saw who was pulling the strings. And right now, Albanese has got a lot of people pulling the strings, and he's trying to pull our leg at the same time by making out that he is some pious person. And then during his during the election campaign, his Catholic roots and blah, 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 his boo-hoo story about his mum and everything else. Well, where is that now? He also, again, this is in the Catholic Weekly, that he will not be supporting Christian agencies. Well, we already knew that, and I told you this was going to happen, and I told all my evangelical friends as well, that as soon as they get in, you can forget chaplaincies. They'll be gone. Well, they eradicated 6 million to that and put in some woke education, counseling / re-therapizing students, counselors there. These people absolutely have no respect for what is, number one, an authority, number two, tradition, number three, any kind of culture of our past. And that bothers me, because if he doesn't recognize that that book is sacred, and that book actually is the book in which all of law is based, then we got a problem. The other thing I find amazing, and listen to me very carefully, 80,000 tonne of coal arrives to the Ukraine, Australian coal, to fight their conflict. What about our conflict? What about the loss of jobs? What about the lies we're being told to? The shrinking of the barrier reef, where the barrier reef is growing and flourishing. 80,000 tonne of Australian coal. And hardly a peep in the media, hardly a peep anywhere. Does anyone not see this as hypocritical, as double standard? While Australians can lose their jobs and lose their one of their most precious resources under the guise of climate change and succumbing to little Greta's fits of a screaming, mentally ill child, I believe. We are subject to this hypocritical, divisive culture. Albanese said he's there that wants to unite the culture. I don't see it. He's not doing it through the whole thing that he's holding with this voice thing through Indigenous people. He's certainly not doing it through his environmental policies, and he's certainly not doing it by renouncing the Bible. When you go to a court of law in this country, you have to put your hand on that book. At least I thought you did. This Prime Minister is a danger. He is a danger to what we hold true in our values. He's certainly a danger to our economy. He's a danger to our industry. And sadly, guys like him and Alan Bant, the red shirt brigade that come under the colour green, they think that they're going to change the weather, which actually doesn't need to be changed anyway. Seriously, it's winter, it gets cold, it's summer, it gets hot. Get over it. And sadly, our economy will suffer. Now, this coming Wednesday, I've got a special day on with my great friend Sean Allison. And I know that he can help you guys. I'm not going to keep going on about it. We've got about 50 places left. You got to get yourself a financial education, folks. The reason why these people are running riot is because people are still under the control of this kind of tyranny and system. People think the way to create wealth is to get more jobs. Well, right now, let me tell you, number one, that's not going to happen. And number two, many of you are hurting and suffering because more jobs means more tax. It actually means less money in your pay packet. It leaves more tired, no time for your children, and no time for what's important, which is your family and friends. So why don't you join me on Wednesday? It's going to be awesome. And Monday, listen very carefully, Monday, 10 a.m., one of the smartest minds in our nation, Alexandra Marshall from Spectator magazine, and an incredibly, highly intelligent, articulate lady, is going to be doing a special online Facebook, Telegram, Instagram, right across all my platforms, exposing this climate change farce, this whole Greens agenda that is so toxic for our nation in its economy, in our relationships to each other. It is toxic. I'm telling you, this is not about the climate or weather or saving anything. It's about holding you captive. Alexandra Marshall, she'll be with us 10 a.m. Monday. So listen very carefully. Let me run down what's coming up in the next few days. Number one, Sunday Reborn. You don't want to miss it. I've got a message called A Whole Lot of Shaking Going On. Is God shaking up stuff? And what is he shaking up? The political, the economy, the environment, everything. God is shaking. And there's a shaking. Whether you believe in him or not, there's a shaking go on. You'd have to admit it. Then on Monday, Alexandra Marshall. Then on Wednesday, I want to attack everything. We're going to look at spiritual things. They're very important. We're going to look at all the political things in the environment. That's what we're doing Monday. And then we're going to look at your finances. Folks, listen to me. Get a financial education. And get it quick. Join me on Wednesday. And of course, we are launching our rallies. First one's coming up in Beaudesert. And right now, we're already planning on our one on the Gold Coast, which will be in October. I don't have the date secured yet for that. And we're going to be going a little bit further north. And we are speaking to some leaders and pastors and community leaders up in the Hervey Bay, Maryborough area. So it's going to be pretty awesome few months. But remember, Sunday morning, 9 a.m., Monday, 10 a.m., be there with it. Don't try and catch it later because things like Instagram, it's on live. Telegram's on live. We can't hold it up there. Facebook, it'll be on live. And you can always watch it again on Facebook. So Sunday morning, 9 a.m., Wednesday morning, 10 a.m., put a reminder in your phones or somewhere. And then, of course, Wednesday, the Financial Freedom, Secure Your Financial World online event with my great friend Sean Allison. I think I told you guys before, Sean took a small investment of mine during the road outbreak and turn that investment into 25,000 US overnight. And he wants to help you do the same. So I look forward to seeing you guys Sunday and, of course, Monday and Wednesday. And, hey, we'll announce the times, dates and places for the rallies. But Bow Desert starts on the 18th of September. We've got that secured. We'll be setting up a website for all of that. I know we're going to turn this nation around. God bless everyone.